Playing Sniper Elite Resistance brings a familiar feel to longtime players of the series. A game that runs parallel to the events of Sniper Elite 5, Resistance once again puts you in France with the goal of disrupting Nazi plans that could change the course of World War II. I recently spent over an hour playing Resistance, where I got to go through the game's third mission and experience just a taste of what developer Rebellion has in store for players. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. If you've played Sniper Elite 4 or 5, you've played Sniper Elite Resistance. The game uses the same engine with gameplay that's nearly identical to its 2022 predecessor. Rather than play as Carl Fairburn, however, you're controlling Harry Hawker, who sounds an awful lot like Jason Statham.
Safe-House has been compromised, which explains why we lost contact. Looks like I'm gonna have to finish what they started.
With it being a connected title, the general environment and feeling is similar to what you get with Sniper Elite 5. And although I only played one region of the game, one thing that's clear with Resistance is that the designers have done enough to make the environment stand on its own. Finding all of the unique ways to take cover and distract the enemies is what lets the Sniper Elite series pull you in as a player, and the level designers did a good job with what I saw. You can still play at your own pace, something that goes a long way towards getting more players to enjoy the game. Whether I wanted to go in guns blazing or take it as slow as humanly possible, I was able to do it. It just all depended on what was happening around me and what I was trying to accomplish. There are multiple ways to get to and complete an objective that you can replay the missions multiple times and it'll feel fresh for a few playthroughs. The kill cam that the Sniper Elite games are known for remains as satisfying as ever. Hitting that perfect shot that has you watch a bullet rip through the face of a Nazi is as gruesome as you'd expect. It's also enjoyable watching the other soldiers scramble in panic after they see a comrade's head get blown to pieces right in front of them. Now, in the preview build, we couldn't change the difficulty of the game, meaning that we were limited in how we could experience it from that sense. Luckily, the AI wasn't too unforgiving, though it did make you work. It was nice that when the AI was searching for something, or me in this instance, after hearing a noise, they wouldn't play too dumb, so to speak. Plenty of games I've played would have had the AI stand right on top of you and not notice a thing as long as you were in cover. In this, there were a couple of times where they would happen to walk right up on me only to spot my cover while I wasn't even moving, leading to me having to fight my way out or die trying. That said, the AI weren't savants all the time. There were times where they would just stand a bit too still or in the same place for too long that you couldn't continue what you wanted to do without adjusting in a way that didn't feel natural to what you should or were trying to do. They can even be a bit too locked in their planned movement. One specific instance involves a Gestapo infantryman who always has to sit on a bench, stand up, and then turn and look at the bench before moving around the building just to repeat the sequence. It feels a bit strange in those moments that are more than enough to break immersion. There was also an instance where it was pretty clear that my shot should have hit an enemy in the face, only for him to get hit, get up, and just slowly walk away while another bullet just ricocheted off his helmet while he continues to walk. Maybe the shot wasn't as good as I thought it was at the time, but something just felt off with what I believe should have happened there. Nevertheless, after getting through the mission and just experiencing a small sliver of what they'll have to offer, what I played had me excited about the full story and how else I'll be able to take down the Nazis in France this time around. However, one thing that I kept thinking about over and over after my playtime was whether or not there'll be enough here with a full game to warrant a purchase by fans. There's a full campaign, a returning invasion mode, and new propaganda missions that Rebellion hopes keep players engaged overall. But as I said at the beginning, if you've played either of the last two Sniper Elite titles, this will feel quite familiar, especially when the overall setting remains the same from the last game, just with new locations. With Resistance coming less than 3 full years after Sniper Elite 5, whereas the gap between 4 and 5 was over 5 years, Rebellion runs the risk of series fatigue if the rest of the game's story doesn't hold up. Sniper Elite Resistance is scheduled to launch on January 30th for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. For more previews and reviews, interviews, and exclusive gaming news daily, subscribe to Insider Gaming here on YouTube and visit our website at insider-gaming.com.